Welcome to Thriller Bitcoin. Welcome to Thriller Bitcoin.
And I'm sorry I was evil. I don't do that anymore. I just copy other people. Try to forget what was before.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Sure. I have no idea what we're going to talk about.
I actually just had you on the show because I wanted to ask you when Noster.
When?
Have you been getting a lot of that too over there?
Yeah, quite a bit. I think like we already have like Twitter verifications. So looking like at Noster, it seems pretty obvious. I think there's a lot of stuff that we can do. Well, yeah, there's a trade-off because in some respects, we want to make some of the social activity happen on Amboss. Like, I mean, that's like part of what we deliver is like a really cool social platform. But Noster, that is a force to be reckoned with. I'm really curious how folks are gonna like monetize that, because it's like a whole new like it's like a new Bitcoin, essentially, just a protocol network centric approach to things. Very cool, very disruptive.
I think you're right. It's going to be really interesting to see how they monetize that. I don't like, where do you start? Just like on the relays, like the information is just like passed through in these JSON messages of a sort. Like I don't understand like how it. I don't know.
Actually, like the relays, that part seems like obvious on how that would be monetized, because like you're going to pay a relay to send out your message to its million followers or whatever, or a million people that are subscribed to that relay. The next question is kind of for me is like, how is the rest of the business world going to interact with this social network and monetize things? Because who knows?
Yeah, it's weird. It's conversations we have here inside the lab, and but it's yeah. I just saw your tweet the other day. That's why I asked you that. It was like, how's your 2023 starting? But yeah, that's why I asked you that question. I didn't want to have you on to talk about Noster. What's how was your New Year's?
New Year's was very good. I got to hang out with Andre Neves from ZBD and Brianna from Noah. Awesome folks. And now they're based in LA. So
nice.
It was really cool to hang out with them.
Yeah, man, they're just killing it over there. I was talking to Santos over the break, just helping them with all the Emerald stuff, and gosh, man, what a stellar team.
Yeah. And it's nice because, like, I mean, I'm sure as like a founder, you can understand that it's just like pretty uncharted waters. Like as a founder, you're gonna like be doing like tons of stuff that you never expected to be doing. And ZBD is a little bit ahead. I mean, they just did their like Series B. So like it's got a lot more experience. So I'm just like trying to learn as much as I can, trying to prepare for the future because we've got a lot to build at Amboss. And
Yeah, absolutely. I want to ask you about Amboss. Have you enjoyed like the whole process doing it? Like as far as like building out Magma and like everything like that for the past, because you've been at it for a while, right? Since 2018, 2019 or 2020?
Yeah, we
was
launched May of 2021. And yeah, it's like, it's the most exciting thing that I could possibly be doing. Like the stuff that we're able to build, like as a small team is just like, is so fun. And just having that like network level focus, whereas like the rest of the ecosystem seems to be like kind of bottom up. They're looking at wallets, they're looking at exchanges, but like here we're like being a service provider to like the entire network, and trying to have an idea of like how is this system evolving and where is it going to go and where we're going to see growth, and like we really have to like keep our ear to the ground. Like what's the pulse of this network, and where's it headed, and where can we position ourselves like to help this network grow while it's like growing massively. Like this is just like we're like barely holding back the forces. I mean, like so there's like a real motivation to like build out products that will kind of accelerate Lightning.
Yeah, and you get this all the time because I've told you before, but like, man, the visual aspects to Amboss is just, man, it's sometimes I just have it up on my screensaver. It's gorgeous, dude. Like seriously, it is. I mean, there's something to be said about that. It's just high quality stuff, and like, yeah. Whenever I think of y'all, I just think of like, I would say y'all probably understand the decentralized aspect to the Lightning Network probably better than most, and like, since you guys are like a Lightning first company, and you guys actually make all y'all's commission from the Lightning Network and stuff, right? So.
Yeah, we currently don't take any fiat payments at all. So yeah, it's wild. I mean, any issue that a Lightning company is going to have to deal with, we're dealing with head on. Like, I mean, my morning was filled with like accountants and lawyers. Like wow. This is just to figure out like what can we build next, and how are we going to account for the whole thing. The accounting question is really big because like what most accountants deal with is you have a bank statement. And I know Sam Abbasi from Hoseki talks about this a lot. The fact that you have another party that is like attesting to what has happened, and they are the keepers of the record. In Lightning, like what do you have? You have an export of accounting, like an accounting export from ThunderHub. Like that's your tool to deal with, and no one else is attesting that.
So what do we do? I mean, obviously this is not accounting or legal advice, but like, so what do we do? No. Should we just do we just leave it in a wallet somewhere? And
like, no. Like, I mean, I think there's a lot of focus on like making sure that like your own records are like flawless, like, how are you going to back up your channel database? Because that really is that's the accounting record. Okay. So how do you keep that safe? And so like watchtowers play a role in that. The RAID backup systems play a role at like an individual node level. And what we added was like balance sharing. So like people can actually we can just share our balances. So the other person is reporting. And so you actually have another person that can attest that says you actually have this amount of funds. And this amount of like volume went through, for example. we announced this feature, and I think there was a lot of concern about privacy coming out of it because, like, hey, now there's a centralized honeypot of information that from which you could derive individual payment data. But we took the feedback, and after hearing it, we had several people reach out to us, be like, "What are you doing? Like, don't create this honeypot. The feds will be after you." All this stuff, and it was a great point because we don't want to disrupt payment level privacy of the network because that's something that we really like about Lightning.
Right.
That it is so private. You can have payment level privacy, and sats are fungible. So, like, we don't want to mess that up. So we've been working on changes to still get the information that we want, which could happen at the accounting level, but also at the payments level. Like, what is the state of the network, and what are the flows that have happened? Because that's very important information for node operators. Because the whole question is like, who do I want to connect to? Are they a good peer? Are they going to have a lot of activity? Am I going to be making sats on my Bitcoin without giving up custody ever? Those are, like, we want to help answer those questions.
Right. And that's kind of, that's, I guess, I kind of heard about that, and it got me kind of wondering, but do you think it has to do with the integration with Thunderhub, or you think that's more of it just happened to be that, it just happens to be just another integration? I mean, because at this point you're going to have to integrate with everything, right? So where do you think the line they felt was kind of,
I think there was like just the fact that we made it easy to do.
Yeah.
I think maybe some people thought that was like the wrong move. But, like, honestly, like, you can run a script to, like, push us data. It's a simple endpoint. It was like, we'll just, like, add integrations into Thunderhub just because, like, it's a great way to just show how our API can be integrated. And that could happen in whatever wallet. Like, it doesn't need to be Thunderhub. But what's nice about Thunderhub is like that's the keeper of the keys. The whole thing is open source and MIT licensed. So, like, take whatever code snippets you want out of Thunderhub, build it into, like, your own program. And then for Amboss, we can, like, have that network level focus to, like, deliver our services. And, like, our services come mostly in the form of information, data, and data visualizations.
No, that's fair. No, I think, when you kind of explain it like that, that sounds more than fair.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, as far as the design for Thunderhub, like, if you don't like it, like, make a pull request. Like, the same thing is this open source software. And, we're not the controllers of Thunderhub. Like, God forbid someone could fork Thunderhub and make their own version of it. But
right.
Like,
do you think once we have, like, this kind of push into, from, like, Visa or, like, PayPal or, like, even, like, Lightspark or Meta, do you think, like, once they start entering this space, do you think they will be looking at some of this similar data, or you think it'll just be, or you think they won't probably worry about those kind of, or at least y'all's area of expertise?
Oh, like me being, like, my paranoid self, like, I think, like, Visa and MasterCard have enjoyed surveillance capitalism for so long. PayPal as well. They want all of the data, and what they're comfortable with is, like, an opt-out type system. Whereas, like, everything that we've been designing is opt-in, because we like those privacy aspects. Like, that's what makes this different. Because and like, when Visa and MasterCard and PayPal come into this space, they're going to think that they'll be able to get all of this information, and what's nice, like from the Bitcoiners is like, well, I think by default, like they're going to reject this like huge corporation from like messing up what we've built and we've taken time to build. So our interaction like with the community, like we're Bitcoiners. Like there's no question about it. And we want Bitcoin to win. I think like Visa and MasterCard will probably want the CBDC to win a fully surveilled network. And like from our perspective, like that's like, you can try that for a while, but Bitcoin's going to win. And we're going to run this opt-in, working with the community, taking feedback whenever we get that opportunity to build really awesome, cool stuff.
Yeah. Gosh, man, you're doing it. And you're like leading the way, man. Like, right? I mean, because who else is out there? It's like 1ML, Mempool, like who? And I guess like, is that it? Who else is out there besides you guys?
Let's see. There's been quite a few people that have come out with explorers. One thing is that generally what we see from other folks is they provide the information as is. So this is the current state. But I think we're playing a different game because you need to look back at the past, because this is it's a reputation game. And it's been my thought for a while that Lightning is a moral economy. So you're going to choose who you want to connect to. When we see like podcasters get on Lightning, we want to connect to them. We see like Kraken start up a Lightning node. Oh, I should get a channel with them because they're super cool. They got nice branding. You got Jesse Powell. Yeah, I'll open up a channel. But when it comes to like other things, like we've got affinity groups, and then there's like enmity groups. So it's like, I do not want to be associated with any of those people over there. And I think that will start popping up. So like, okay, like Meta starts up a node. Okay, who's gonna connect to him?
Lightspark, like, probably. I don't know. I don't know.
Are they going to open up channels to the network? And then like, how's the network going to react? Are they going to like force close the channels and punish them a bit?
That's a good point.
It like for a lot of the stuff we do, it's like, I don't know how people are going to use this product, but like maybe we'll throw it out there and see how people react, how they'll use it.
Yeah. I think what you've created or what your team's created, because you guys are like a group of 4, right? Is it 4?
Team of 4.
Yeah. Who shout out the other co-founder or the other guys?
Let's see. Like Anthony, or like Tony IOI on Twitter. Yeah, he's the creator of Thunder Hub. Like he's my 100x engineer. And like I can't code. I just like I don't know. I get to do everything that's non-dev, and I let them figure out the details and do the awesome work. Yeah, we've got like 2 backend developers, and Tony.
Nice.
Like we haven't made our front end hire yet. So that's next. But
wow.
Like the amount of backend work that we've done already, it means that we've got a whole bunch of products, and we just like don't have a front end for it.
What? Really, Jestopher?
Like,
wow.
Yeah, we've been like building like crazy, and it's been so much fun. And have to like survive as a company while Lightning is so tiny. Like we've super overbuilt for like the stage that Lightning is. But we know like this could happen like tomorrow. Like this is definitely a gradually then suddenly thing. And it like the fiat system just needs to make one slip up, and like we're there. We're ready to go.
Do you think that's a possibility? Really? Do you think that's really a possibility? Kind of like how we saw just like overnight Nostr just like took off. kind of similar like that, where it just like
I mean, I don't really know, and I don't want to have to like bet on a bad thing happening in the fiat system. But the fact that we have a backup system that works today and works really well makes me think that this could happen very quickly from a bad event. But like also like right now, it's already super compelling just because it's 24/7 value transfer at near zero cost and instant payments globally, borderless.
It's pretty neat. It's pretty neat, man. Cool. It's really. I was talking to the guys here. I was like, I don't even remember the last time I've sent like a base, on-chain transaction. Like literally, I didn't remember like the last time I did. It's just all Lightning all the time. Isn't that nuts? I can't speak for everybody. I was like, I can't believe that's possible.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So like, we've got our on-chain stuff where it's just like, okay, focus really, really closely on security. And then Lightning, we're being a bit more flexible. It's like, okay, like, I mean, there's a lot of advantages to using custody just because it's really efficient. But we're opting into that. We're making that choice ourselves. So it's crazy. And it works really well. I mean, I've been like traveling around a whole bunch because like, why not? I could be a digital nomad. So I like be in Turkey, go to Colombia, go to Latvia, catch some conferences.
Nice.
And like for all the stuff, like I don't really have to deal with the fiat system so much because the people that I'm meeting with, well, they all take Lightning. So shoot me an invoice or like even simpler, just a Lightning address. I like had to like shake myself a little bit because I was talking to Andre Neves, and I was like, wait, like you're the creator of Lightning address. You're the reason that this is like possible. Like you and Fiat Jaf just like got together and be like, okay, like what do we need to make this incredible UX improvement?
Yeah. Gosh, man. Yeah, you're doing it, man. There's I just want to say, like, man, when you did the tab conf like little workshop, and then like you just like we're gonna do it really fast, and you had like this is up here on the sheet, and I was like wait a second, should there be more to this? And you're like, nope, that's right there. You're just telling everybody, and then I went in and I got it all set up and everything. It was just like really easy to get onboarded to Amboss. It was. At first, I was like, what is he doing? Is it just like this it? And it was just, that was it. Like, it was kind of cool.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get stressed out about like running a node. Oh, I need to do this thing. I have to like set it up, my Raspberry Pi, But like we've tried to make it really simple. And with a little bit of dedication, it's not hard to do, especially with solutions like Voltage, where you can just spin up a node in the cloud and start playing with it. Like if you want to go the hobbyist route and do the whole Raspberry Blitz thing, like do it. Like you will learn so much. And like that's half the reason that we do it. Like we don't want to like touch the metal. But I mean, like it's really just like sign a message. Like we've got all these like cool cryptography tools that are built into our protocol. So I can claim my node, I can sign messages, I can prove ownership, and I can like build an entire financial and social network at the same time.
Yeah. Do you see any trends? Like I keep seeing the Rook little charts that he puts out, and it's like Amboss this way, and then like what do you see on your side as far as like nodes? Are we dropping off, or do you think it's just because of the bugs that we saw? Or what do you think? What are you seeing out there?
Kind of like as far as like the look ahead.
Yeah,
I'm just like gonna pull up Amboss.space/stats, and let's see. We should, by the time this airs, we should have network level statistics going back to the beginning of Lightning.
What?
But it's not live quite yet. But kind of like looking at capacity has been like up and to the right, almost, almost this entire time. Let's see. It did take a brief pause from like the L&D bug. I think that it caused some forced closures on the network. Also, you can view the history of cooperative closes, forced closures. Nodes is an interesting chart because for a while, Zion had 25% of the nodes on the Lightning Network.
Really? Why?
And so like, here I'm like making pitches to investors and I'm showing like, okay, this like insane parabolic growth. And then Zion like pivoted and like they're using a like slightly different system. I think I haven't like kept up to date on it, but I was like watching all those nodes leave and I'm like, no, the Lightning Network can't be shrinking right now. Like, don't do this to me. Like I'm making hockey stick charts.
Oh, wow.
And so anyways,
that's interesting. I didn't know that. Just because I guess their stack changed or something on the back end. I guess. Yeah. I mean, it's like that seems, it would be awesome if they're like making it very easy for like anybody on a social network to have their own node. Like yes, I absolutely want that future. But I don't know, it doesn't like make a ton of sense from like because like now with all these nodes, like the amount of channels going between them like grows exponentially to like have a well-connected network. And so we have to make tough decisions about how we want the network to grow. Like, is it going to be like a full social network, or do we just want to have reliable payments that goes from, place to place? Yeah.
So,
yeah. I'm looking at one from Brooke right now. He has, in the last 30 days, 72 BTC has been deployed on the Lightning liquidity marketplaces. Amboss is up 25%. That's crazy growth, man. That's crazy.
So, well, like are you talking about Magma on this one?
On this one, I think he might have up Magma. He just has Lightning liquidity marketplaces. Yeah, it might be it.
Yeah. Okay. So Magma is up to 75 Bitcoin that has been deployed on that. So,
oh, wow.
And that means that users are earning from opening channels. So people go on Magma. If you're going to be a like liquidity provider, you want to like play the LSP game, like you could do that on Magma. You just go to the earn section and you can just like look through and there's like a list of
all the offers
nodes that are willing to buy a channel from you. So
yeah, I'm looking at it right now. There's DZs for 3.5 BTC. Wow, a lot of these I recognize their names. That's funny.
It's like super recognizable. There's like, these are personalities.
I know. Yeah, now I know what you're saying when we were saying like it's all a community kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just like see the names. And it was so smart to like add aliases like from the get-go for the protocol. Yeah. So like I'm sat base and I'm having fun because like on this, we just added this earn side. So basically I could just say, yeah, I'll buy a channel from you. Like go ahead and open it to me. And depending on what size you can open, like my payment to you will be, a certain fraction of that size.
Yeah. It's really cool, man.
And like someone will just like reach out to me and say, hey, I want to open a channel to you. Like, here's an invoice. And I'll be like, sweet. Yeah, I'll pay that. And then I'll get a notification later, like, oh, someone opened a channel to me, which is cool. Cause then I know that I could get a higher price for that liquidity. Like I could open up a channel to Loop and which is like providing, liquidity anywhere else in the network. And overall, if I can bring down the price of inbound liquidity, that means that anybody can have really reliable payments that wants them. So
yeah, I also was looking at y'all's documentation. It's remarkable. Like the Magma documentation that you have here. Gosh. And I was talking to somebody at Voltage too, and I was looking at their documentation. I was just like mesmerized. I was like, man, like you're doing it like really, really well. It's like perfectly like, step by step what to do. I think that was for the longest time, at least for me in the early days of Lightning, that was like really the hardest things to find was documentation, was like good documentation.
Thank you. Yeah, I think like how Tony and I got together to like start Amboss was like I was doing satbase.org, which was just like my blog, which it was like how to do cool shit on Lightning, like step by step, and like how to do a batch channel open so you could be like really efficient with your fees. And like nobody really knew how to do it. Like the only documentation that I had to put that together was like, hey, Alex Bosworth, how do you do this? And then he would like answer like whatever time of night, whatever. And he would give me an answer, but it's like so fleeting. Because like you can learn so much through Telegram groups, but then like, how do we pay it forward?
Right.
And, like what I was doing is just, I made a paywalled blog because you could do that with Lightning and some basic plugins. Like you don't need to know how to code or anything, but if you know how to do on-chain transactions and you were like part of that generation, like you can pay forward that knowledge. Like how do you bump a fee? How do you double spend something? So there was like, that was from those days. Look, Lightning is so cool. Like I love any opportunity I have to write about it.
Yeah. So did you do most of the documentation here, Jestopher?
The Magma stuff? Yeah, I did all that.
Wow, dude, it looks so good.
Thanks.
Wow, man.
Yeah, like Tony can definitely help on the dev stuff. But yeah, we can work together.
Yeah, this is really good. It's just it's very well put together. It's very thoughtful. And yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Gosh. I think for me, like one of the things that I'm always like interested in when I talk to like builders and founders is like some of the key things that they've learned, over the course of their journey. And like when you think of yourself, like where you were prior to starting Amboss to where you are now, like do you ever look back, or you just try to staying focused on the future? Like as far as like, those little, I call them rocks, like these little rocks along the way that were like somewhat milestones, but not really. So that's why they're rocks. Did you reflect at all? Towards the end of 2022?
Like, yeah, it's crazy looking back. Like the fact that like Tony asked me like early on, like when we first like agreed to like team up, he's like, you ever thought about like running a company or like, and I'm like, no, like never crossed my mind. And like, here we are deep into it. Like after we launched the Explorer, like I quit my job, which, like within a month, I saw the traction that it had. I was like, man, we could do so much. Like looking back at my like old chat history, I remember talking about 1ML. Like, it's a cool idea. They could do so much with that. And it was just like a passing thought in like one of these conversations. But it's like, it's really crazy. The fact that we have employees, and we've got like avid users of our site. It provides a meaningful service. Like we're still working on how to monetize this.
We all are.
Like we know it's important, and like looking forward, like the total addressable market is like huge. I mean, we're going to disrupt the $9 trillion global digital payments industry. And we're just going to take our little tiny slice of that. But it's truly massive. So yeah, it's crazy how far we've come. We've like still got so much ahead of us. But like, I'm so happy like doing what we're doing. Just keeping like laser focus on our mission. And we get to like create little services along the way, and that helps us get to our goal. Like if we wanted to be like Google of the Lightning Network, like, you know, we could do that. Like just provide, you know, little services along the way, and like build our intelligence about the network, and then be able to deliver that to help the network improve.
Do you have like any things that you look back on these past couple years where it was like did I do the right thing? Like was it the right move? Do you ever have any of those moments?
Yeah. Oh, like we've made a bunch of mistakes. And I can see, it's not easy. Like running a company is a ton of work. And like, there's like, is there like, have we done enough? Like what more could we do? And then like making errors along the way. Like we've burned like some bridges. And yeah, it's like too bad on some front, but like also maybe it was never gonna like work out with other folks. But really we've been so fortunate because we've had good advice. The people that we've attracted to like be part of our core team understand like the strategic goals, and they're able to like look past some of the like mistakes that we make in the near term, because like the long-term goal is like so attractive, and be able to like position ourselves to get there.
Do you think choosing the right VCs like that helps a lot?
It's huge.
Yeah.
I had no idea that so much success could be derived from whether or not you can make a good PowerPoint presentation. If you can like communicate like what's happening on Lightning, why you should be a part of it, and like what this means for the world, as well as like what this means for you as an investor, like those are critical conversations. The fact that like I'm having to like, I'll have to like pitch investors, and like in a half hour, like no, really a 20-minute call, like I'm going to have to explain Bitcoin. I'm going to have to explain Lightning. I'm going to have to explain why we're building on it and what the opportunity is in like 20 minutes. Which like, and I want to get a strategic person out of that. So I need to interview them as well. Like, okay, like what do you have to offer? What do you bring to the table? Because like, I know I'm sitting on a gold mine. I'm going to have to like communicate that, but also like, are you going to be the right person that will, you know, be there through thick and thin to help me navigate these things to like get towards that really strategic future, which is not just like it's not a quick game. You know, for us running a data company, this is like a very strategic thing. We're building a massive asset, which is like data about the Lightning to build this intelligence. And it's a long-term goal. Like it's insanely valuable. However, like we have to survive in order to get there. But and also survive competition. because there's going to be a lot of money that is going to recognize that, like, information on Lightning is a gold mine, and they're going to try to disrupt us. And I don't know, the fact that we're building for the community is like one of the best moats that we have that protects us. Because I think what you're touching on there, it's a lot of the same conversations we have here about building and being a founder and the long roads and the resilience that you need to have, and choosing the right party to come along with you. And it's all of that plus more. It's it can be very hard. I think for me these days, it's become a thing where I'm just operating. I'm trying to operate at the highest level that I can, even to the point now where we have conversations. It's like, oh, should we do like semen retention, or should we do like these other little crazy things, wake up at 5, or like, or like only eat taco. It's like this, like the weirdest things just to get a more optimized version of yourself. It's Wow.
Yeah, we're freaking weird here. But it's like those type of conversations, Jestopher. It's like, how do you get yourself to being the most productive, the most optimized self as you can be? Like, there's some guys that will literally just go to the gym like midday just so they can come back and start building again and stay here through the night. It's man, it's know exactly what you're saying. It's tough.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing for me was getting past the imposter syndrome, because thinking like, I mean, and I felt that in other jobs as well, like even ones that I was like fully capable of doing, but like as a founder, like you're going to do things that you never expected you would have to do. Like just like going through all these like legal documents and all these things, and having conversations with like, oh my God, I just talked to a billionaire. Like I just shook his hand. It's so weird. Like things that I was like, I would totally, I don't know. It's half of this is just like one foot in front of the other. And being able to survive that imposter syndrome, and the fact that you can like look back and you say, oh, okay, like I did it. Yeah. I kind of botched it, but whatever.
Like
onward.
Onward. Like there's no one's gonna knock you for how you accomplish the task, right? You'll be lucky if they get a thank you. That's kind of how I see it.
I mean, for like I used to do like public service, and so I was like working for the government, like doing like signals and street lighting, and like they're like the only way that like that you've done something is like when someone complains about it.
That's a great.
This is like the only way to get like feedback, because like if you do everything right for like signals and street lighting, they will say nothing. Whereas like at least I get some feedback. I mean, I get pretty good feedback for what we do for Amboss. People may not like it, and it's like, okay, like you're ruining lighting privacy. Like, okay, well, we had to like, like we could do it better. But for things like Magma, I mean, people love it. The fact that we just help coordinate this like decentralized scattered network, and like be able to like bring a market to them that they get to participate in without needing to have a ton of knowledge is pretty cool.
Yeah. I know we only got like an hour booked here, so I just want to ask you a couple more questions. What do you got? What do you see happening here in 2023 when it comes to Amboss and just the Lightning Network?
We've got a lot of stuff in the pipeline. One thing that has happened recently is one of our users of Magma has automated the response process. So opening up a channel automatically when they get an order.
Oh, wow.
So, okay, we've got our reputation metrics set up for responsiveness. Like, how quickly are people responding to this? When people automate their activity on Magma, that means they're going to be the top of the reputation game. Which means like now, like this entire network is actually competing with itself. And they're like a whole bunch of service providers that are all trying to do very similar things. So having an like automation is going to be a big differentiator. And I think so there's going to be a lot more competition there. So be looking forward to that. And we can have like after that automation and the responsiveness, then there's going to be more competition on what's the value of the liquidity that you have. And what other aspects can we look at? So that's one thing to look forward to, because that just means that the Lightning Network is going to be better. The second piece is we really want to bring enterprise into Lightning. We want like big businesses to say like start bringing transactions into this network. We've seen like big announcements from like Jack Mahler's on like NCR coming in, but we haven't seen the payments volume. So, and there's like there's like several reasons why they haven't made the switch. But like the barrier isn't that large. So, we'll be focused on like, how do we bring in more companies, like bigger businesses into Lightning so we can have this robust ecosystem of payments. And then like Taro is going to land. And like, if people like dealing in dollars, like they can deal in dollars, and they can still interoperate with the Lightning Network seamlessly. It will happen like without their knowledge. So this will all be in the background. If you want to deal with stable coins, if you want to play CBDCs on the Lightning Network, like go do that. Because it's all going to work together. This is an open protocol. And what we're seeing with Nostr, what we're seeing with Lightning Network is like, it's going to win. I mean, when people came to adopting Bitcoin, there's like some crypto people that came and they were super impressed that like, I've got my choice of apps that can like interoperate with this network. It doesn't matter which one I use. Like, yeah, like use anyone you like the colors on this one, like how fast the payments are on this one. This open network is super powerful. And it will be this, what are they, like gravity thing? Yeah, Bitcoin is gravity.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think like on our side, I'm seeing the same thing too. Just for like we're seeing like just more and more applications from just different people all over the world, like looking to build here. And I think you're exactly right. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the whole. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what was so significant in Lightning late last year that just. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe the education has gotten better, or maybe it's just. Yeah, I don't know. I do see it I do see just more and more people. Like we just did an open house today, and there's like two people that are, one's leaving PayPal, and the other one's like, is an engineer, and it's like, what? Like, what's going on? It doesn't. I'm not complaining. That's good. That's good for blah blah. But it just like, it doesn't really like, I don't understand where that's coming from. Like, what is it that people are seeing? Are they just like waking up to this thing, you think?
One thing that I felt for a long time, like I kind of like looking back, I used to be like very politically active, and try and change things that way. And I got so frustrated because it's just entrenched powers. And the fact that like I can't make any of the changes that I want. And then I come to Bitcoin, to Lightning. I see opportunity, and it's dynamic. It's changing all the time. You can build whatever you want no one can really stop you. Like cypherpunks write code. Like this, so like, yeah, you can build this. So I see opportunity where before I saw entrenchment. And like that's breaking down the barriers to me. So I see it's attractive on that front. The other force that I see was the Bitcoin law in El Salvador. I think there was a lot of community momentum to say, I want the people of El Salvador who are now under this Bitcoin law, I want them to have a good experience. And there was a realization, oh my God, like the Bitcoin network cannot handle all these transactions. I don't want the people of El Salvador to spend $5 to like make a transaction go through. So what options do we have? It's Lightning. Like this, what else is there that can have cheap, fast transactions? And so I think we still see a lot of the altruism from that. People are not focused on making money from the channels that they create on Lightning. They just want there to be a good experience and they want to help the network. I think long term that motivation will change somewhat. People will be seeking yield, and I'm here for it. Like, yes, I want people to be greedy and selfish because the effects that will have on the network is that people will be motivated.
Yeah.